Hi friends, I hope you're all fine. And in my previous video, I had told you that I'd be teaching you something about rhyme scheme in a poem. So here's my video on rhyme scheme. In your junior classes, when you were in, say, your preschool, you may have been taught similar sounding words, and they were taught to you as rhyming words. So you may have learned words like pin, bin, din, sin, so on, shin, grin. Words like cat, mat, bat, sat. So here we have some words over here. We have cat, which rhymes with mat, combat, caveat, and fiat. So what do we mean by the words rhyming? All these words have a similar sounding ending. So cat, mat, combat, caveat, fiat all have a similar sounding at the end, a similar sound at the end. So it's like at. So they all sound similar at the end. So this is called these are called rhyming words. You can have several ones of them, like harsh, marsh. Then gas would go with say mass. Rhyme itself would go with mime. You can, in your preschool, as I said, you had tried to understand the letters at the end of the words to see if they rhymed. So even here you see they have 80, 80, 80, 80, 80 at the end. But it is not necessary for the words to end with same letters in order to rhyme. Words can rhyme even if they do not have similar letters at the end, or words may not rhyme even if they have similar letters at the end. For instance, HUT is hut, hut, and BUT is butt, hut, butt. But when we write PUT, it doesn't rhyme with hut and butt. It doesn't, because its sound at the end differs. This is hut, this is butt, but this is put. And put doesn't sound like hut or butt. So, although the letters at the end are same, they need not rhyme necessarily. Alternatively, if in case we have words which do not have similar letters to end with, for instance, I'm just writing two lines for you to understand, right? So the first line would be, the task was tough. The task was tough. He left in a huff. The task was tough. He left in a huff. The words have similar sounds at the end. Uff, uff, tough, huff. But they have very different spellings. But still, they are rhyming words. They do rhyme. The task was tough, he left in a huff. These words are rhyming. So, this sentence ends with a word that rhymes with the word the next sentence ends with. So now we initially had learned about rhyming words. For instance, bin and pin. They were rhyming words. But now we're talking about sentences, the full line. So this full line, the task was tough, he left in a huff. Now the lines start rhyming with each other because of the words at the end. Do you get it? So first we learned about rhyming words, and now we're learning about rhyming sentences, if we may call them so, or rhyming lines, to say the least. Moving on, let's see what else I can show you. Now here is a poem. I'll first clean this up. Let's read it. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I repeat, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. Now the first sentence ends with wood, and the second sentence ends with both, or the second line rather ends with both. Now, are they rhyming words? Are they rhyming? Wood and both? No, they're not. Would could perhaps rhyme with could, should, hood and all, but would doesn't rhyme with both. It simply doesn't. So these two lines are not rhyming. But let's read on. As we read on, we'll find two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood here. Here is a word that rhymes with wood. So here is a line which ends with a rhyming word with this line. So this line ends with the word wood, and here this line again ends with stood, and the words are rhyming. Let's read on. And looked down one as far as I could. Again, yeah, we've got it. Here's again another word that rhymes with wood and with stood. Okay, we read on. To where it bent in the undergrowth. Undergrowth, undergrowth, growth, undergrowth doesn't rhyme with could or stood or would, but it does rhyme with both. Both, undergrowth, both, undergrowth. Isn't it interesting? So, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Let us call this sound, this ending sound, wood, as A. We call it A. So we call this A. This sound, wood. And we have seen, and be one traveler, long I stood. Wood, stood, rhyming. So we are calling this kind of sound A. So this would also be A. So, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. If wood is A, stood would be A, and looked down one as far as I could would also be A. They're rhyming. So the first word I marked A, and I marked all the other words that rhymed with it as A. Now the second line ends with both. Wood doesn't rhyme with both, so I can't call it A, so I give it a new name. I call it B. And does anything rhyme with it? Yes, undergrowth does. Both, undergrowth. So I call this B as well. So now, if somebody had to write about the rhyme scheme of this stanza of the poem, we could put it down like this. So the first line ends with an A sounding word. A sounding would be the wrong way to tell it. A word that has an ending ud. Even this has an ending ud, and this also has an ending ud. Would, stood, could. So if we are calling them A, then how would I write it? Let's see. And this would be B, and again, so the first line ends with an A type of rhyme. The second line ends with a B type of rhyme. The third line ends with again an A type of rhyme. The fourth line again ends with an A type of rhyme. And the fifth line ends with a B type of rhyme. So how does this stanza to be represented, the rhyme scheme of the stanza to be written? We will write the rhyme of the first line as A, the second would be B, the third A again, the fourth A again, and the fifth B. So A, B, A, A, B, A, B, A, A, B would be the rhyme scheme of this stanza. So this is the rhyme scheme. So A, B, A, A, B would be the rhyme scheme of this stanza. Got it? Let's move on. So I think it was pretty clear as how to write the rhyme scheme for a poetic stanza, the stanza of a poem. We just did it. So this I just for your memory's sake, I revise it. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveller long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. And the rhyme scheme would be would, both, stood, could, growth. So A, B, A, B. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next stanza of the same poem, The Road Not Taken, by Robert Frost. And let's see. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there, had worn them really about the same. Let's take the lines one by one. Then took the other as just as fair. It ends with the word fair, fair, air, fair. So in case we wish to mark this as A, fair, A, we read on to find out if there are more A's there. And having perhaps the better claim, claim doesn't rhyme with fair, no, so I can't call this A, I'll have to call this B, right? I'm reading both the lines. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, Because it was grassy and wanted where? Because it was grassy and wanted where? Where rhymes with fair. Fair, where? So I can call it A. Yeah, got it. A. 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 The next line. Because it was grassy and wanted where, though as for that the passing there, though as for that the passing there, there, where, fair, they're all rhyming, there, so we call it A as well. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted where, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same, claim, claim, same, rhyming, yes, same. So if I call claim B, I'll have to call same B as well. So this line ends with the rhyme type A. This line ends with the rhyme type B. This line ends with the rhyme type A again. This fourth line also ends with the rhyme type A. And the fifth line ends with the rhyme type B. So even in this stanza, we have the rhyme scheme A, B, A, B. So it's again the rhyme scheme for this is A, B, A, B. Actually, all the four stanzas of Robert Frost's poem, this particular poem, The Road Not Taken, has the same rhyme scheme. And how does it go? Each of them have 5 lines. All the 4 stanzas, they have 5 lines each, and the rhyme goes A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. Now let's take up another poem and see. Again, this is from your book, Class 9. Oh my, the letters are small. Can you read? I'll help you. Let's see if I can get the camera any closer. How do I do it? Just a sec. So this is the poem Rain on the Roof. Rain on the Roof, as we can see. And how does it go? When the humid shadows hover, when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. Okay, for a change, can I leave it to you to find the rhyme scheme for this stanza? Try it while in the meantime I set up my camera properly. There. I'll pick it up for you. When the humid shadows hover, hover would be A. You now know it well, don't you? So hover would be A. Over all the starry spheres, spheres would be B, because hover doesn't rhyme with spheres, so they can't be A and A, it has to be B. And the melancholy darkness, darkness doesn't either rhyme with hover or spheres, so we'll have to give a new name, so darkness would be C. Gently weeps in rainy tears. Spheres and tears rhyme. So if spheres has been named B, tears would also be B. What a bliss to press the pillow. Yeah, what a bliss to press the pillow. Pillow, pillow, pillow doesn't rhyme with hover. Pillow doesn't rhyme with spheres. Pillow doesn't rhyme with darkness. Pillow doesn't rhyme with tears. So we'll have to give it a new name. We have named it A, we have named this B, we have named it C. Now we'll have to name this D. Okay? When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Bed. Now the last word here is bed. Does bed rhyme with hover? No. Spheres or tears? No. Darkness? No. Does bed rhyme with pillow? No. So again it has to be given a new name. We'll have to give this line ending a new name, and since we have used A, B, C and D, we will have to name it E. E. When the humid shadows hover, A, over all the starry spheres, B, and the melancholy darkness, C, gently weeps in rainy tears, B, what a bliss to press the pillow, D, of a cottage chamber bed, E, and lie listening to the patter, patter, hover, patter, no, hover, patter, no, spheres, patter, no, darkness, patter, no, tears, patter, no, pillow, patter, not at all, bed, patter, no way. So patter gets a new name. After E comes F. And the last line of this stanza is, of the soft rain overhead, of the soft rain overhead. Overhead. Sound similar? Yeah, we had chamber bed. Overhead. Bed rhymes with overhead. Ed ending. Chamber bed. Of a cottage chamber bed. Of the soft rain overhead. So if bed was E, overhead has to be E. Now, I'll bring it closer for you to have a better look. When the humid shadows hover, A, over all the starry spheres, B, and the melancholy darkness, C, gently weeps in rainy tears, B again, what a bliss to press the pillow, D, of a cottage chamber bed, E, and lie listening to the patter, F, of the soft rain overhead, E again. Now I'm going to write the rhyme scheme. I'll just select all these letters in order and write down the rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme would be, so does this match? No, I don't think so. The first one is A, okay, fine. Second one is B, alright. The third one, it is C. So let me clean this up from here. A and B, fine. Hover, A. Spheres, B. Melancholy darkness, C. Tears, B again. Pillow, D. Bed, E. Patter, F. Overhead, E again. So now the rhyme scheme of this stanza would be A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. Got it? AB, CB, DE, FE. Now it's your turn, children. Now I'll have to do the similar rhyme scheme finding for this stanza and this stanza. Don't worry, the poem is in your book named Beehive. Class 9, Beehive, you have the poem in here. And in case you don't have this book, all you can do is to look up Beehive in Google. You can Google out Beehive and you'll have the PDF version of the book. You can go to the particular page. I'll tell you the page. Just a sec, let's see. Let's look for the page. It's easier to look from the contents. The rain on the roof. No, it's just Rain on the Roof. No, The Rain on the Roof by Coates Kinney, and it's on page number 41. Here it is. The Rain on the Roof. So you can open it and you can look for the rhyme scheme, right? There's another poem. There's another poem in this book. We already talked about The Road Not Taken. We talked about this, yes. We talked about Rain on the Roof by Coates Kinney. And now let's see what other poem we can talk about. Here we are. There's a poem called Wind, written by Subramanya Bharti. Let's go to page number 30. It is there on page number 30. Difficult for you to read, isn't it? Let me see if I can enlarge it a bit. Yeah. A little better. I'll give it some height for you. I will pile up some books and I'll give it a little height for my camera to catch it better. Here, now it's readable. Wind comes softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Should we try the rhyme scheme? Let's see. Wind comes softly. A. Don't break the shutters of the windows. B. Don't scatter papers. Doesn't rhyme. C. Don't throw down the books off the shelf. D. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. E. You tore the pages of the books. F. You brought rain again. Nothing is rhyming. G. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. H. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters. I. Crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives. J. Crumbling hearts. K. Oh, there's nothing rhyming over here. So, this poem doesn't rhyme. The lines of this poem do not rhyme with each other. So, is there a name for such poems? Yes, there is. Such poems which do not have rhyming lines, which do not have lines rhyming with each other, are called poems written in the free verse. So it's a poem written in free verse. It is not a rhyming poem. It is not a rhyme for that matter. So it's called free verse. So if you have such poems, your teacher will not ask you to write the rhyme scheme for such poems, and you need not worry about these. Right? Now it's for you to do the next thing. There's another poem in your book, The Duck and the Kangaroo, and I'll not do anything other than reading this out loudly for you. So what I'll do is, I'll just read it aloud. The Duck and the Kangaroo by Edward Lear. Said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop over the fields and the water too, as if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hop like you," said the duck to the kangaroo. So now it's up to you. You see what rhymes with what and how you name them, and then you'll have to figure out the rhyme scheme for this stanza and also for the next one. Okay, I'll read the next one also for you. It's fun reading poems written by Edward Lear. They're so good and rhyming. They have such beautiful lines, which rhyme with each other. "Please give me a ride on your back," said the duck to the kangaroo. "I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole of the long day through. And we'd go to the Dee and the Jelly Bowlee, over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride, oh do," said the duck to the kangaroo. It's your task, friends. You need to do it. Write the rhyme scheme of these stanzas, and you can put them in the comment, and let's see if you can really do it. So that's all about rhyme scheme learning, and I think we must end our class here so that you can start doing this. Bye bye.